Obviously, I thought that was a great college game, for both teams and obviously the fans. A lot of scoring, close, a lot of lead changes. I think there was maybe 11, 22 lead changes in the game. There aren't a lot of college basketball games where it's played like that. Very proud of our team. We got the news about Zack Freemano middle of, mid-morning on Monday, 10, 11 o'clock. We had to basically move our practice time, had 2 quick days and a shoot-around to try to do some different things, get our guys ready. A lot of teams, when they get news that you're going to be without your leading scorer, it can really strip you of your hope and your confidence. In particular, we were coming off a tough loss, basically a game that we just played. We played on Saturday against Cincinnati. So from my side of the ledger, very proud of our players. We had a player tonight, Dante Maddox, really find himself. We knew he was capable, but he had a great game. And I think once you kind of have a game like that, especially against a team like UConn, it fills you with confidence moving forward. So I look at it as a positive step for us. Obviously there are no moral victories at this level. You had and we had opportunity to potentially win the game. We didn't. And then, look, UConn's good. They wore us down. Their size and their rebounding and just their execution on offense eventually overwhelmed us. It took a long time for us to break, but just couldn't get a rebound or a stop down the stretch versus them. And that's to their credit. Our guys were certainly trying hard.
Coach, is this the type of offense that you were kind of dreaming about in the offseason when you put together this roster? You scored 1.5 points per possession in that second half.
Yeah, no, we have the ability to score. Again, it's tough because we have a lot of guys that are experienced, but we're a group that isn't as experienced together. And we're still a week before Christmas, and a lot of times you don't hit your stride until January, sometimes even February. So, I really felt all along that we could continue to get better. We've lost a couple of tough games. If you followed us closely, we've struggled to finish at the end. And you could say the same thing about tonight's game. I just think it happened in a different form. Against Cincinnati and maybe at TCU, some self-inflicted turnovers and plays that just didn't allow us to win a game that was right there for us to do. But again, I credit UConn. There aren't a lot of teams gonna beat them here. And the other part I just let you know is I go back to last year. I'm just glad that didn't happen. We were a far cry from the team that came up here a year ago. And I think we have some pride in that as well.
Coach Davion's scoring has kind of dipped recently, and he was over 2 at the half. Did you see anything matchup-wise or tell him anything to attack to lead him scoring 16 in the second?
No, I think that's a great observation and a great question. We want more from him, and he's doing some things well. It's just he hasn't been as assertive over the last 3 or 4 weeks like we know he can be. I think looking at him in the second half, letting him break through scoring, we need that scoring punch from him. He did it a year ago, and it was great to see him do that here tonight. He takes pressure off of other guys when he's able to do it. But, you look at his stat, he played 39 minutes, 18 points, 3 assists, 2 turnovers. I thought he gave us everything and more.
You implement the zone a little bit. Was it just not as polished as you would have liked to play with it a little bit more? I know Caravan had a couple threes off and it had to move the screen on more.
Yeah, look, we have no choice. We're going to have to mix that in because we don't have enough bodies. We don't. And, look, if we would have played man, they probably would have scored. We just have to invest more in it. It's something that, again, we haven't done for the last 3 or 4 months. And I think it's going to be a part of our future now that, we're without. Remember, we're without not only Freemano, but we're also without Trey Orr. Those are our 2 bigs.
What do you say when obviously Zach missed all the last year, thought to get back, and now this happens? What was the conversation like when you found out that the severity?
Yeah, I didn't know what to say to him, and quite frankly, I don't think he really knew what to say to me. It's heartbreaking, it's devastating. I mean, you always say things can be worse, but this kid has done things that I've never seen before in sports, overcoming multiple season-ending injuries and surgeries. This past time, really getting himself in world-class shape. He is 4% body fat. He's our hardest worker. Obviously, he's been our best player. He's off to a great start. And this is his final year. Never entered the transfer portal. Just stayed with Xavier. Graduated in grad school. Loves the Big East. Loves college basketball. And you just said, like, man, this is going to be the year where he's going to be healthy from start to finish. And then obviously this happens. It affects us in a big way, but obviously what you're the most concerned about, and I think what I think the most about is just him. You know, it's not easy. To go through that once can really take an athlete into a dark place. To go through it 4 times, that's a completely different situation. So we're surrounding him with a lot of camaraderie and team. And I think on his end, he's probably like, yeah, thank you, but he's got to just fight the good fight here.
One last question. Anyone?
When you talked about Dante finding himself to have a performance like what he gave you, especially in the second half, in light of Zack injury, how much confidence is that to you guys going forward?
It's a big boost. When we recruited Dante, we thought he could be one of those types of scorers, and sometimes it just doesn't click right away. But I think as he's been given a bigger opportunity, I have to do a better job of giving him confidence. As you learn what he can and can't do well, I think we have a better grasp of how to help him more. And moving forward, I think what you saw tonight, I think there'll be more of that type of performance. He can really, really shoot. It just hasn't happened yet. Glad it happened here tonight. I also just want to just make one comment here about this guy, Alex Caravan. When I was playing a long time ago, Duke was in their prime. They had Danny's brother, Bobby, Christian Laettner, Grant Hill, and those guys. I think UConn, in its rightful place, is them right now, right? They just won back-to-back national championships. And when you think of Christian Laettner and guys like Bobby, I mean, they're like iconic because they're the all-time greatest winners in the sport, some of the greatest winners in the sport. I don't know if college basketball's ever, to this point, had a better winner than Alex Caravan. Not because of his intangibles, his personality, but he is a stud player. I mean, he was 8 for 15, 3 for 8 from 3, 5 rebounds, 20 points, 43 minutes. His passing, his motor. And I know last year he wasn't even on the All Big East team, which is hard to believe. But look, he's a first-team All-American. And you look at UConn moving forward. I know there's a lot of games to be played, but I just want to acknowledge something in our conference that's just true. There's very few players that have ever walked here or in this great league that have impacted their program as a freshman, as a sophomore, now as a junior than Alex Caravan. I mean, he is a winner, and he reminds you of that every time you play UConn. Just a myriad of great things that he does. So that's it.